Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. The White House told agencies to start shutdown procedures as Congress missed a funding deadline. Furlough notices could go out soon, though lawmakers are still negotiating a short-term measure. New census estimates show Texas added the most residents in 2025, but grew slower than the year before. Officials linked the slowdown to a sharp drop in net international migration. President Trump said Iran has U.S. terms and warned military action is possible if it won't curb its nuclear program. Iran's foreign minister said Tehran is open to talks, but won't negotiate defense capabilities. DOJ opened a civil rights investigation into the killing of Alex Preddy by federal immigration officers in Minneapolis, officials said. The FBI will review video and witnesses while local officials run a separate inquiry. A federal judge in New York dismissed murder and firearms counts against Luigi Mangione, taking the death penalty off the table. He still faces federal stalking charges in a separate state murder case. Federal agents arrested Don Lemon after a protest disrupted a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota, authorities said. Prosecutors allege he helped obstruct worship. Lemon says he was reporting and broke no laws. DOJ released more than 3 million pages from the Jeffrey Epstein investigation under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Officials said victims' names were redacted, but survivors' attorneys say some identifying details still. Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. Federal agencies began shutdown preparations as a funding lapse hit, updating contingency plans and furlough procedures. Senate leaders advanced a spending package that could reopen most operations by Monday if the House acts. Iran's foreign minister said Tehran is ready to resume nuclear talks, but wants the U.S. to stop threatening military action. He spoke in Ankara as Trump ordered a major naval buildup in the region. FBI agents executed a warrant at Fulton County's election hub near Atlanta and seized computers and boxes of 2020 ballots and records. Democrats demanded answers after DNI Tulsi Gabbard was spotted at the raid. Ohio officials are bracing for a new ICE operation that could target Haitian immigrants in Springfield after Haiti's TPS expires on February 3. Local leaders warned of disruptions for schools and employers. Trump, the Trump Organization, and his two eldest sons filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS and Treasury over leaked tax records. They say agencies failed to safeguard confidential data from a contractor. Thousands rallied across Denver on Friday in ICE Out protests, with student walkouts and some business closures. Demonstrators demanded an end to deportation raids and called for federal agents to leave Minneapolis. After Senate Democrats backed a short-term DHS funding deal, Trump said he was not at all de-escalating immigration raids in Minneapolis. The comment undercut White House claims of a draw. Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. DOJ opened a federal civil rights investigation into Alex Preddy's fatal shooting by Border Patrol officers in Minneapolis. The FBI will lead the review as officials decide whether any criminal charges are warranted. Democratic governors are mapping out how their states will respond to the administration's deportation push. Several said they'll cooperate on serious crimes but won't provide broad help for sweeping enforcement operations. Protests and walkouts spread nationwide on Friday after two fatal shootings by immigration agents in Minneapolis. Organizers urged lawmakers to block new funding and demanded ICE pull back from Minnesota. Ohio officials are bracing for stepped-up ICE activity as Haitian temporary protected status is set to expire February 3. Springfield leaders say they have no confirmed notice and are preparing support for affected residents. Agencies circulated shutdown guidance on essential workers and which services would pause if funding lapses. Managers prepared furlough plans as lawmakers negotiated to minimize disruption for the public. New census estimates show Texas posted another major population gain in 2025, driven largely by international migration and metro growth. The increase could affect representation and intensify strain on housing, schools, and infrastructure. The White House told agencies to start shutdown preparations after Congress missed a funding deadline. Officials said leaders are trying to keep any lapse brief, but furloughs and service disruptions could begin quickly. Federal agents arrested former TV anchor Don Lemon in Los Angeles over a Minnesota church protest earlier this month. Prosecutors filed federal civil rights charges, and he was released after an initial court appearance. Trump threatened to decertify Canadian-made aircraft and impose a 50% tariff unless Canada certifies several Gulfstream jets. Aviation experts warned politicizing certification could disrupt flights and raise costs for travelers.